So here in Moodle, we're going to have a look at how we can use H5P to embed a video that students have to watch to complete a course. So the first thing to look at is just how course completion is mapped. So essentially, if we come into the More options here, you can see we've got this course completion option within our course, and then we have a number of different settings we can modify in here. So the key thing is this activity completion. So in here, we can check any activities that a student must complete in order for that course to be completed. So after the course is completed, you can do things like issue a certificate to the students, but also it will show that they've completed the course and can send out an email to the student and also to any instructors in the course that they've completed that course. So in order to do this with a video, we can't use a regular embedded video within Moodle because there's no way of actually monitoring whether a student completes watching that video. So we're going to come back to the course homepage and we're going to turn edit mode on. And then we'll come down to week 4, which is where we're going to place our embedded video using H5P. So what we can do with H5P that's slightly different to a regular embedded YouTube or Vimeo video is that we can embed it within an activity. So essentially a student will have to watch through it. They can answer a series of questions within that activity, and then they also have to submit it at the end as well. So you can create it as basically a graded activity that students will get a mark for, and that's what triggers the completion of that activity. So we'll add an activity or resource in here, and we'll come to our activities. And what we're looking for is this H5P interactive content. And if you have a lot of different activities in there, you can also search up at the top, type in interactive content, and this is the activity we want. So we'll actually star this so it appears on our starred activities. We'll click that, and you can see once we add this interactive content, we get a few different options here. We can add a short description of the video. So please watch this video and answer the embedded questions. We'll scroll down a little bit and you can see we have a whole range of different H5P activities that we can embed into Moodle, but it's the first interactive video one that we're going to be using. So we'll click details and you can see we've got a content demo here that will show us a quick preview of the different types of questions or overlays you can embed within an H5P video. We're just going to click the use option here, and essentially we then get some options for working with and creating our H5P video. So come from the top, you can see we've got our title for our video. So the video we're going to use is this Organize Your Course Page in Moodle video. So we'll just type in a title, Organize Your Course Page in Moodle. We're going to come to our video here and we'll just copy the web address, the URL. And then when we come to add a video, we can enter that YouTube link into here and click insert. So once we've done that, you can see we've got some options to add interactions, add a summary task, and essentially all these things are things that will happen throughout the duration of the video. Now, importantly here, we want the students to watch the whole video. Now, if you are doing this, then you want to make sure that your video is not too long, because when the student comes back to watch the video a second time, they can't skip through or skip to different points in the video. They'll have to watch the whole thing through. So this video that we're using is just over 2 minutes long, so not super long if students do need to go back and watch the entire video. So we've got some options for interactive video and text tracks. We're going to jump down to the behavioral settings here, and you can see we've got a few different options. So we can auto play the video, we'll leave that unchecked. We can loop it, and then we've got some options for override show solution button and override retry button. We'll leave those as is. The one we're looking for here is the prevent skipping forward in a video. So what this means, the student will actually have to watch the video from start to finish. And again, that's why we want that short 1 or 2 minute video. We don't want to make these super long. And we can also show the button for rewinding 10 seconds. So that just means the student can jump back through the video if they want to move back a few seconds if they miss something. We've got some options for text overrides and translations, but this is the main option we need to check here, the prevent skipping forward in a video. And again, there's times you really wouldn't want to use that. For instructional videos where they're 5, 10, 15 minutes long, it just restricts students in terms of how they can skip around and view the video. But for this purpose, so we're making sure they watch the whole video, it'll be perfect. So we'll scroll up, we'll come to add interactions. And now in here, we can add some questions throughout the video. Now, if you have a video and the transcript of the video, we can actually do some smart question creation using that and ChatGPT. So we're going to jump into our video here. We're going to come into edit it within YouTube, and we'll come to our subtitles here. So here in our subtitles, we can come across to our English subtitles. We'll click here to download the SRT version of these subtitles. So what that's going to do is it's going to download those captions, the subtitles, and then what we want to do is open this as a text file. So I'm actually going to drag this down on my Mac to text edit. And so now we have all the captions for that short 2 minute video. And we'll just click in here and select it all. Just click in here and copy it. We'll come back to ChatGPT. We're going to ask ChatGPT to please create 5 multiple choice questions from this transcript. And we'll just ask it to include the answers as well. And we'll click submit. So now if we go down, you can see it's going to 5 questions for us that we'll then be able to use within our video. Now, you can even ask ChatGPT where to put these. So if we say, please give us the times these questions should appear in an interactive video. So you can see it's given us a little note about where we can add these questions in, which will be useful when we go back through the video to actually add in those questions. We'll come back to Moodle and we're going to basically move through here to add in these questions. We've added into our Moodle page. So I'm going to pause this and we'll add this first question after a little pause. I can drag it easily down to topic 2 and into different locations on my page. Okay, so nice little pause there. At this moment in time, we're going to add a multiple choice question. So we'll click multiple choice. And so now we have a label, a title, a question, and then some answers for this question. So I'm going to come in here and we're going to use the first question. Even though it's at 30 seconds, we'll have it appear there. So this, what is the first step in rearranging a course page in Moodle 4.1 and above? So we'll come back here. So we'll just call this rearranging. And we'll paste in the question and we'll also have this as the title as well. So now we're going to go in and add our questions. So we've got 4 possible answers here. So A, B, C, and D. So with B being the correct one. So we'll just copy these. That's the correct one. So we have our 4 answers and the score range is 0 to 100. I'm not going to give any feedback there. We've got some options for the question as well. So enable the retry button. If people get it wrong, we want them to be able to answer it right. This is just a learning quiz. So we're not concerned about how many times they need to answer the question. So we'll scroll down and we'll click done. So you can see now we get this little button and we can transform this. We can move this around to wherever we want. And then if we scroll down, we can go to save and display. So now with this page, we can play through the video. And you can see I can't move forwards or backwards, except for this jump back 10 seconds button. So I simply need to watch the whole video here as it moves through. So then you can see I get my question pop up. If I click here, it will pause the video and then ask me what is the first step in rearranging a course page in Moodle 4.1 and above. And it is, of course, to enable edit mode. So I can click here. And once that's done, I can click check. And it shows me I've got it right. So I can click continue now, keep playing through the video. And then students will need to watch this all the way through, but we'll cut to the end now. So once we do come to the end, then however many questions we've had, before we can actually complete this, we need to submit our answers. So you can see if I scroll up here, I can mark this as done. I'm not going to submit the answers yet because I want to just change some of the settings here. So we've created the H5P video. We'll add in a couple of other questions here. I'm going to close this. So we're also going to add in a couple of other questions here as well that students will need to kind of move through. What we'll do is in the settings, if we scroll down now settings, obviously we've got our H5P settings. We've got the grade options here as well. So at the moment it's uncategorized. We'll just leave it from 0 to 10. That is fine. And then we will go to activity completion and we're going to set the completion tracking to show activity as complete when conditions are met. Now, in order for this to track within the course, we need to say student must receive a grade to complete this activity. So that means the student will need to watch through the entire video and then also click that submit button at the end. We won't require a passing grade. The main aim here is to get students to watch through the content, but not to penalize them if they don't get all those questions right, although we can force that by making them get a passing grade, and we can make that passing grade 10, for instance. So we could set this to 5 or 10, depending on how many questions we have and how many we want them to get right. So we'll hit save and display. So now you can see this will change up at the top left. It's saying to complete the activity. So this now means that I need to watch through the whole video, answer the questions, and then click submit at the end. Now, if we come back into the settings, we've got a few different things we can do in here. So actually, we're going to add around, we'll pause this here, and we're going to come to our true-false questions. So we'll call this drag and drop, have that as the question title too. So we'll have our statement as it is not possible to drag and drop topics in Moodle 4.1. And this is a false statement. We'll click done. So now you can see we've got our true-false statement there. And then we'll come closer to the end. We'll add in another question. So we'll take this question 4, scroll up, we'll select this question, come in here, and we'll add another multiple choice question, content in development. We'll paste in this question and we'll use the same label as we do for the title. And then we're going to have 4 options here again, and we'll just paste these in. And in this instance, B is the correct answer for the second option here. So we'll check that, and then we'll scroll down and click done. So now we have 3 questions, and we'll do one last thing at the end. So if we use this next button, we can add a summary task here. So we can have 2 or 3 summary statements that are true or false based on what we've watched in the video. So just another way to reinforce what the students are learning within this. So we'll come back to ChatGPT. So we'll ask ChatGPT to write 3 summaries of 300 characters, where 2 are false and 1 is true. So we've got 2 false statements. So we'll copy these. The first statement is the correct one. So we'll paste the false ones as the last 2. And then the true statement will pop in the first box here. So once we've added those, we can go down to the bottom and hit save and display. And if we scroll down, so you can see we have our 1, 2, 3 questions, and then our summary statement, and then our submit button at the end. So now if we play this through, it won't allow us to jump through, but we'll kind of jump to the points as they pop up within the video. So now when this first one pops up, we can click on it. It's going to bring up our multiple choice questions, and we'll choose the right answer. So enable edit mode. We can check that and click continue. So we'll now jump forward to our true or false question. So once we reach that, we'll click this, and you can see we get a statement, and it is not possible to drag and drop topics in Moodle. We know that's a false statement, so we'll check that and click continue. These little knowledge checks just reinforce what's being learned in the video. So now we'll jump ahead towards the end to our last couple of questions. And you can see what a suggested way to manage unfinished content in a Moodle course. So we're going to say move it into a section labeled hidden from students. We'll check that. And then we'll get our summary dialog popping up. And in here, get asked to choose the correct statement. We can read through these. So the first one seems wrong. Second one seems pretty good. And the third one is wrong. So I think the second one here is right. And we've got it right. So we'll click continue. So now we've got all of our answers correct. We can hit submit answers, or we can play back through from the beginning. And so now when we scroll up, you can see our to-do is still to complete the activity, but if we come back to the course homepage and then come back to the activity, it's checked and complete. So this item is now checked and complete, and this is where we can link it in with the course completion. So if we come back to our homepage, we can come to the course completion option and activity completion. And what we're looking for here is the organize your course page activity. So if we scroll down, we'll see interactive content, organize your course page. We'll check that, and then we'll come back down to save changes. And in our options there for our course completion, you can see the option at the top is course complete when all conditions are met. We only have one condition at the moment, and that is to complete this interactive activity. But obviously we can have more than one activity as the trigger for completing the course. So now if we come into our email, we'll see we've completed all those checked items within our course completion. We'll get a message saying, congratulations, you have completed the course. So now if we come back to Moodle, we can see when the course has been completed, the course completion settings get locked. So you do need to set these course completion settings up before the course is live. If we go to reports here, we can come to course completion and we can see who has completed the different items. And that is a quick overview of how we can use an H5P video, not only make a student watch the entire H5P video in order to complete a course, but also that video then triggers their course completion when one or more videos or different activities are completed. I hope that's helpful. If you do have any questions, then please do get in touch.